Please rise for our national anthem.
Good morning, South Vermilion High School and members of the community. Thank you for joining us in honoring our local veterans. Please stand while the color guard presents the colors. If you will, please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Here to give an opening address is South Vermilion Superintendent, Mr. Chapman.
Good morning, and welcome to today's Veterans Day program. Today is the day we honor all those who served our country, protecting our freedoms and ensuring that our democracy lives on. Like most of you, I have a very special connection to our veterans. My parents, yes, both my mother and my father, served in the United States Navy in the 1950s. My younger brother made a career serving in the Air National Guard, and many members of my extended family have served in the Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force, and the Coast Guard. For their service to our country, I am greatly indebted. I am proud to say they are my family and that they have helped sustain our liberties. I am sure that all of you who have family members who have served, who currently serve, and especially those who have given the ultimate sacrifice, have the same sense of pride as I do. On this day, we pay our respects to the fallen, and we honor those veterans for their commitment and their loyalty to the Stars and Stripes, to the greatest nation on earth. To all of our veterans, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for your service.
Thank you to Mr. Chapman.
November 11th was first celebrated for the armistice or ceasefire, which ended the First World War. It went into effect the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918. The next year, at the first celebration of Armistice Day, as it was called then, President Woodrow Wilson said that, "To us in America, the reflections of Armistice Day will be filled with solemn pride in the heroism of those who died in the country's service and with gratitude for victory, both because of the thing from which it had freed us and because of the opportunity it has given America to show her sympathy with peace and justice." We would like to begin today with a tribute to the group for which many of us stood in silence at the beginning of this program: American servicemen and women who have been taken prisoners of war and those who are missing in action. This table, which is on prominent display at South Vermillion High School, is our way to remember these heroes, too often unsung.
The table before us honors the men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice in America's armed forces.
The table is round to show our everlasting devotion and concern for our fallen and missing comrades.
The cloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their motives when answering the call of duty.
The single red rose, displayed in a vase, reminds us of the life and the blood that was shed. It reminds us of their loved ones and friends who have kept the faith and await answers.
The vase is tied with a red ribbon, a symbol of our commitment and continued determination to account for our missing.
A slice of lemon on the plate is to remind us of the bitter fate of those who are captured and missing in a foreign land.
The salt is to remind us of the tears endured by those missing and their families who still seek answers.
The black napkin is a reminder of the isolation, deprivation, and cruel fate of our missing.
The Bible represents the strength gained through faith to sustain those lost from our country, founded as one nation under God.
The glass is inverted to symbolize their inability to share this day with us.
The chair is empty and will remain so until they return and are accounted for.
May we remember this message. You are not forgotten so long as there is one left in whom your memory remains.
We celebrate this 102nd Veterans Day to honor America's soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen who bravely answered the call to defend our freedom, to aid our friends and allies, and to turn back aggressors. Just as they were when Francis Scott Key wrote the national anthem during the War of 1812, the men and women who have served and are currently serving in the armed forces are the ones who truly make this country the land of the free and the home of the brave.
This is the South Vermillion Band playing The Legacy of Heroes.
What you'll see now is video footage from exactly 100 years ago today. The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier was originally constructed in 1921 in order to recognize those soldiers who did not return from World War I, and the first unknown was buried there on November 11th of that year. Since then, an unidentified veteran has been interred at Arlington National Cemetery after both World Wars, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War. Each has been granted a state funeral, eulogized by the sitting president, and awarded the Medal of Honor, the nation's highest military decoration. The sarcophagus is decorated with 3 wreaths on each side panel, and overlooking the cemetery are 3 figures representing peace, victory, and valor. The back features the inscription, "Here rests in honored glory an American soldier known but to God." Join me in a moment of silence for all veterans who have given the ultimate sacrifice to their nation. Out of a truly American sense of national pride and patriotism, our community, state, and nation alike have constructed memorials to remember our nation's conflicts and all those who fought in them. From the World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam War memorials on the National Mall in Washington, D.C., to the Soldiers and Sailors Monument in the center of Indianapolis, to the hometown honor rolls in Clinton, Universal, Dana, and across the Wabash Valley, we echo Clinton's All Veterans Memorial, which is inscribed with the words, "In memory of those who gave so much for so many."
Because this program is one for the whole South Vermilion community, we have started a new annual student essay contest, a personal expression of what Veterans Day means to the Wildcats. I would like to introduce our inaugural winner.
Veterans Day is a glorious day for the celebration of our veterans. Veterans Day should be honored and praised because of the men and women that went to war to fight for our freedom. This remarkable day represents the bravery and sacrifices made by our veterans to me and my family because my grandfather was a veteran. This gave me insight to the importance of honoring those who fought for our freedom at a young age. Our veterans are brave men and women that have and will continue to fight for our freedom and way of life and should be praised. These prestigious people have fought for our freedom and overall well-being of our country for centuries. Veterans and military personnel have protected our country in many wars over our great nation's life, and to this day. For example, American soldiers continued to fight in World War I, in which 116,516 people were lost among the 320,000 plus people that were sick or wounded by the end. Because of the sheer grit and determination of these highly honored people, our great veterans have undoubtedly shown their love for the great nation called the United States of America by fighting for our beliefs and rights through the depressions and economic booms. The U.S. military has bravely fought in 12 major wars, contributing to hundreds of thousands of soldiers that sadly did not come home. The United States soldiers' willingness to fight for our freedom and way of life through any challenges and conditions is truly remarkable. My grandfather was in the military and was a veteran of the Korean War who luckily came back alive, but his story did not end happily ever after. After he came back, he had terrible PTSD from the war, which included nightmares and vivid dreams in which he could retell in great detail. He taught me many values that I hold close to my heart today, including the importance of being kind to everyone and helping people. He sadly passed away in 2013, but his memory will live on in my family's hearts. He will be missed and cherished for his wonderful spirit, despite his PTSD. He was the best grandfather and veteran I could have asked for. Our veterans should be honored for their bravery to fight for us. They have shown immense dedication to our country by meeting a strict training regimen and their willingness to leave everything behind to fight for our country. These great veterans have had to make this tough decision before they were stationed in Iraq, Afghanistan, or any other country we were at war with. They show their love for our country because they are risking their life every second they live. While stationed in a war-stricken land such as Iraq, these passionate veterans should be honored every day. Veterans Day is a highly honored day that is meant to celebrate our great veterans. Veterans Day displays these brave men and women who have risked their lives to protect our way of life. These wonderful people have risked their lives for your freedom, and I believe they've had a massive impact on your upbringing and life because of their sacrifices. I believe that they've had a massive impact on every American's upbringing because without them, we would not be a nation. We would have been conquered decades or even centuries ago. We might not have even ever become an independent nation.
Congratulations to Trevor Shannon.
Here is the South Vermilion Band presenting the song America the Beautiful.
I was born on July 4th, 1776, and the Declaration of Independence is my birth certificate. The bloodlines of the world run in my veins because I offered freedom to the oppressed. I am the 381 million living souls and the ghosts of those who have lived and fought and died for me. I am Nathan Hale and Paul Revere. I stood at Lexington and fired the shot heard round the world. I am Washington, Jefferson, and Patrick Henry. I am John Paul Jones, the Green Mountain Boys, and Davy Crockett. I am Lee, Grant, Abe Lincoln, Teddy Roosevelt, Pershing, Eisenhower, MacArthur, Patton, and Colin Powell. I remember the Alamo, the Maine, Pearl Harbor, and September 11th, 2001. When freedom called, I answered and stayed until it was over there. I left my heroic dead in Flanders fields, on the bleak slopes of Korea, in the steaming jungle of Vietnam, and on the desert sands of Kuwait. I am the Statue of Liberty, the wheat fields of Kansas, and the granite hills of Vermont. I am the coal fields of the Virginias and Pennsylvania, the fertile lands of the West, the Golden Gate, the Brooklyn Bridge, and the Grand Canyon. I am Independence Hall, the Monitor, the Merrimack, and the Challenger. I am the Liberty Bell that first rang for freedom. I am big. I sprawl from Atlantic to Pacific, 3 million square miles of land. I am 2 million farms. I am forest, field, mountain, and desert. I am quiet villages and cities that never quite sleep. You can see the lights of Christmas and hear the strains of Old Lang Syne as the calendar turns. I am John Glenn and Neil Armstrong and their fellow astronauts who whirl above my head. I am Eli Whitney and Stephen Foster, Tom Edison and Albert Einstein and Billy Graham. I am George Washington Carver and Martin Luther King Jr. I am Longfellow, Harriet Beecher Stowe, and Walt Whitman. May I always possess the integrity, the courage, and the strength to keep myself unshackled and to remain a citadel of freedom and a beacon of hope to the world. I am the United States of America.
Our next speaker will deliver his address from City Hall. On behalf of South Vermilion, I would like to introduce the Mayor of Clinton, Jack Guilfoyle.
In the city of Clinton, we always celebrate Veterans Day at the Veterans Memorial Park, which is also Columbia Park here in the city of Clinton. The American Legion is always there, and we try and get one of the daycares to always attend and bring the kids over. And then afterwards they always have a meal at the American Legion. But what I'd like to say about Veterans Day is I know that we set a day aside for Veterans Day, and I think that's great, but we enjoy our freedom 365 days a year. And the veterans served this country 365 days a year. And it's because of them that we enjoy our life and we enjoy our freedoms as we do. It's also because of them that we can always say that we are the land of the free and the home of the brave, and we always will be. It's because of them and their dedication. So if you know a veteran and you see him out, it doesn't have to be Veterans Day, any day. just thank him and for the service and for providing the freedom to each and every citizen of the United States.
Thank you for joining us, Mayor Guilfoyle. Being the most devastating war fought until that point, World War I was known as the war to end all wars, but peace was not to last. In the centuries since, members of our nation's military have played a vital role in maintaining national security in our homeland and against external threats and adversaries.
We can never fully repay our debt of gratitude to America's veterans, but we shall honor them here today. Thanks to our South Vermillion students, parents, and staff, we are able to recognize many veterans in our Wildcat family.
We will present them according to their service in each branch of the armed forces. Members of the Army whose mission it is to deploy, fight, and win our nation's wars by providing ready, prompt, and sustained land dominance by Army forces across the full spectrum of conflict, and the largest and most senior branch of the U.S. military. Members of the Navy, who project force beyond the nation's shores, capable of winning wars, deterring aggression, and maintaining freedom of the seas. Members of the Marine Corps, who make up America's expeditionary force, deploying to win our nation's battles swiftly and aggressively in times of crisis on land, sea, and air. Members of the Coast Guard, who ensure our nation's maritime safety, security, and stewardship under the U.S. Department of Homeland Security in peacetime and the U.S. Navy in times of war. Members of the Air Force, who operate the world's most technologically advanced air forces to provide support for surface forces and to fly, fight, and win in air, space, and cyberspace. And future members of the Space Force, who will maintain, protect, and expand the U.S. fleet of advanced military satellites that form the backbone of America's global military operations. To the Armed Forces medley, performed by the South Vermillion Band, we now present our honored veterans.
courageous men and women, all of you watching who have sacrificed so much to serve our nation, and all of those who gave the ultimate sacrifice, we thank you. We would now like to introduce our veteran speaker, Cody Altore, who is currently serving in Honduras. He is a South Vermilion graduate, and his daughter, Madeline, is currently a freshman Wildcat.
Hello, my name is Master Sergeant Cody Alatorre, and I'm a construction manager in the United States Air Force. I graduated from South Vermilion in 2003, and shortly thereafter, in February of 2004, I joined the military. Since being in the military, I've been stationed in several different places. I've been stationed in Seattle, Salt Lake, St. Louis, Las Vegas, and currently I'm stationed for a one-year tour at Soto Cana Air Base in Honduras. I've also deployed several times to UAE, Qatar, and twice to Afghanistan. So I was asked today, what does Veterans Day mean to me? So Veterans Day means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So the canned statement that you normally hear is Veterans Day is to honor those past and present who served. But what does that mean? So I'm going to tell you what that means. Well, what it means to me. So those freedoms that we do every day, like in the United States, whether it be going fishing, going to the store, being able to ride our bikes freely without our parents, or just being able to go to like festivals and things like that, like veterans made that possible, and also like when people think of veterans, they think of war. So they think, oh, World War II veteran, World War I veteran, the veterans from Afghanistan and everything like that. But there's a lot more to veterans than war. So currently where I'm serving at Soto Cana Air Base in Honduras, like we're doing a humanitarian mission. So we're building partnerships and we're building allies. So we're supporting these countries. We're going off base. We're building schools. We're building churches. So when the hurricanes hit, like when Haiti got hit by a earthquake and they got hit by a hurricane, like the week after the earthquake, we responded to that with humanitarian relief, such as like water, food, doctors. So there's so much more to veterans than just war, And the United States military is building partnerships all over the world. That's why we are in different locations such as Germany, Korea, and everything to build those alliances, which is important to our freedom. Because if something were to happen, those people have our back. So next time you're out and you see a veteran, just don't think of war, even though they may have not served in war, but they serve to support our military and to support the freedoms that you guys have and that I have. So next time you see a veteran, go up to them and thank them for their service, because we wouldn't have what we have in the United States if it wasn't for veterans. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Cody. We will conclude our Veterans Day program with the folding of the American flag. The flag is folded in a strategic manner, and each fold is very symbolic. The portion of the flag denoting honor is the canton of blue containing the stars representing states our veterans served in uniform. The canton field of blue dresses from left to right and is inverted only when draped as a pall on the casket of a veteran who has served our country honorably in uniform.
Fold 1. We honor the men of the militias and Minutemen who fought to end tyranny and give life to a new and independent nation.
Fold 2. We honor the men who fought at Fort McHenry in the War of 1812 as they struggled to maintain independence and are forever immortalized by our Star-Spangled Banner.
Fold 3. We honor the men of the Civil War that fought to preserve our Union and the ideal that all men are created equal.
Fold 4. We honor the men who braved the trenches of the First World War, who worked to fight back the spread of oppressive government.
Fold 5. We honor the men of the Second World War who became the force to challenge fascism and instead bring liberation.
Fold 6. We honor the men who set foot in the Korean peninsula to contain the spread of communism and protect alliances.
Fold 7. We honor the men who braved the jungle of Vietnam, who belatedly found respect with a wall of heroes commemorate their sacrifice.
Fold 8. We honor the men of the Persian Gulf War who braved the sands of the Arabian Peninsula to stop the spread of authoritarian power.
Fold 9. We honor the men and women of a new generation who have fought in the extreme terrain of Iraq and Afghanistan. We honor their continued sacrifice in the hopes that equality, democracy, and peace would one day be had.
Fold 10. We honor the parents, spouses, and children of those who serve. Few words could describe the commitment and honor of a military family. We thank you for the support you give to those in service.
Fold 11. We honor the medics and chaplains who offered comfort and healing when suffering was too common.
Fold 12. We honor the pilots who harnessed innovation to provide coverage from the skies, pursue the enemy, and lead armed forces into a new technological age.
Fold 13. We honor the infantrymen who climbed out from the trenches, liberated cities, and mastered urban warfare to deliver the power of the armed forces.
South Vermillion would like to honor the men and women of all branches, retired and active, living and past, for the honorable service given to a nation forever in their debt.
We would like to say one final thank you to the servicemen and women of all branches and their military families who sacrificed so much to protect our freedoms. We would like to remind all those watching to do the same, not just on Veterans Day or a special occasion. The price of freedom is high, and we cannot afford to forget those willing to pay.
Please rise once again while the color guard retires the colors.